Morning, everyone. I hope you're doing well. For today's video, I would like to talk about what's coming this week and especially today, Wednesday, December 10. So we'll have the FOMC. So if you've read our blog post posted yesterday, you know what I'm talking about. The Federal Reserve is going to announce the new interest rates for the US economy. So we are expecting the chairman, Jerome Powell, to announce a 25 basis point rate cut for this FOMC meeting. The market is already aware about that potential rate cut. So the most important is going to be what Powell is going to tell us during his speech 30 minutes after the announcement, right? We want to know, we want to get informations about the potential quantitative easing. As a reminder, Powell announced us last month that the Federal Reserve would end the quantitative tightening on December 1st. So it's now behind us. But now the question is fine, quantitative tightening is done, but when does the quantitative easing going to start? Right? That's the main question. The second point, we have the situation between the US and China getting better and better, especially around NVIDIA's chips, right? So we had tensions first the last summer regarding tariff agreements between the US and China. This has been solved. Then we had another issue between the two countries. It was regarding the taxes, the taxes and um, um, and the deals regarding the new NVIDIA's chips, right? So 2 days ago, US and China announced that they found an agreement regarding these products, right? So tensions are easing, and that's a good thing for the markets because remember how bad the market did react when we had an escalation between the two countries. So that's a good thing, and that's something to pay attention to. Let's see how the two parties are going to react to each other's announcements and each other's statements on socials or via officials, right? So that's the main thing alongside the FOMC and the Powell speech. Now we're just gonna jump into technical analysis, and obviously we're gonna talk about Bitcoin that had a super nice pump yesterday. So if you were on the long side, then you probably had a good time. If you were short, then it was a bit more difficult. However, FOMC day, so volatile day, a lot of stuff can happen. As you can see, we went to the previous week high just here. So if we zoom out, that was that one here. Then we lost the yearly open as well. Yearly open was the main resistance level. The last week, we couldn't stay above. Apparently, yesterday the pump was not enough to push the price above and find acceptance above. So if we get a pullback, we're going to pay attention to that level right here. All right, this is a major demand zone. So we're just going to mark this as a bullish order block right here. As you can see, we also have the point of control. So around 90K short-term support. This must hold for bulls. As a resistance, basically still the same thing. Previous week high, yearly open just here. So pay a lot of attention. The two levels are going to be important today. We might get some spikes above and below, usual stuff during such a news event to take people out before the real move happen. So be careful about this matter. We're going to talk about Ethereum very quickly. So as you can see, I was looking for shorts here. It's still at entry. So I might just cancel this idea because ETH is showing some relative strength. It's been the case since the Fusaka update that happened a couple of days ago. As you can see, same outcome as BTC. Price had a surge to the upside, went above yearly open, but couldn't find acceptance above it. So as long as we stay below, you have to stay cautious. We find acceptance above, it's absolutely bullish, right? Same thing as BTC, we want to look for short-term support and resistance. So we have a short-term support right here at 31.25, and then the next one would be at 3,000. That's a symbol, right? As well as a technical level. So the two levels here are the one you want to be paying attention to if you're looking for longs. regarding the shorts, I'm not gonna lie, it's quite difficult at the moment because it's either you short the yearly open or you just don't. Because once we flip that level, we have a very few, only a very few level of resistances. We have this one, but it's super far away, 3600, 3600, 3700, and then around 4000. So I would say if you're not shorting here, then I would say try to find good long opportunities, and that will be around these two levels that we mentioned. We're going to talk about S&P very, very quickly. S&P is still below resistance as well. So basically, every major is below, every single major is below resistance. As you can see here, previous month high, previous weekly high um, acted as resistance. Price rejected sharply. We also broke the structure here on LTF. If we go on M30, for example, you see we made a new low just here. We made a lower high just here. So the question is, are we going to make a lower low during the session before the FOMC? Or are we just going to try and push again against that resistance? That's super important. However, I would be cautious because we have equal lows here as well that I will highlight with this line. Okay, we have these equal lows, so that's liquidity that could be taken during the session. I would be cautious. A drop on S&P would also potentially imply a drop on the crypto market. So it's something I want to monitor. That being said, let's say we have this drop, then I will be looking at the previous week low of a potential as a potential support, right? At least a short-term support for a bounce. So it's around 67.90. All right. This is all long opportunity short term. And for shorts, of course, it's kind of obvious. It's going to be around that level, previous month high, around 68.80. Right. So that's a wrap for today's weekly analysis. As I said in the blog post, I'm not going to talk about altcoins because the situation hasn't really changed since the last couple of weeks. We are still at the same levels. We're still looking at the same levels of resistance and support. So I'm not going to waste your time talking about altcoins again. You want to pay attention to what we said about the FOMC, about the geopolitics between China and the USA, and about the majors such as BTC, Ethereum, and S&P if you're more like a legacy trader. That being said, thank you for watching the video. See you next week. And until then, take care, stay safe. Cheers.